Sports anime. A surprising blend of genres and culture that on paper doesn't seem like it would fit, but for some reason it just works. As you could likely guess by looking at the videos I have on this channel, I'm not really a big sports fan in general. But when it comes to anime, sports is one of my favorite genres. What is it about sports anime that gets my heart pumping? I think when a sports anime is executed well, you are getting the high action impact moment that you would get seeing a traditional battle shonen, while also getting the emotional highs that you would get from watching a live sporting event, or even a sports movie like Rudy or The Mighty Ducks. Today I want to highlight and discuss my personal favorite sports anime in an effort to determine what it is about these sports anime that makes me like them so much, even though I'm not really a sports fan in general. Now, I've been watching anime since I was a kid, literally over 15 years now, and I've seen a lot of anime. And specifically, I've seen a lot of sports anime as well. This isn't going to be in any particular order. These are just going to be some of my favorite sports anime that come to mind when I think about the genre, and I'll basically be recounting my experience with all of them in an effort to get to the bottom of what it is about these sports anime that I do enjoy so much. The first anime I want to highlight on this list is called Night in the Area. It's about Kakeru Aizawa, the younger brother to Suguru Aizawa, a soccer prodigy belonging to Japan's under-15 national team. Prior to the series, Kakeru quits his position as a forward after a traumatic experience prevented him from playing with his left leg, and he settles for a more managerial position. After the two brothers are hit by a truck, Suguru dies and his heart is transplanted into our main character, his little brother's body. With it, Kakeru returns to soccer to achieve his brother's dream of winning the World Cup. This series couldn't have found me at a better time. I was 15 years old, and while I had watched a lot of anime at the time, I was still new to the sports genre in particular. I threw it on because I was playing soccer for my school at the time and didn't expect to be as emotionally impacted as I was. This series will not only break your heart, but overall has a tone of hope and perseverance, and even has a central mystery that plays out throughout its run. If I recall correctly, this is the first sports anime that I actually watched in its entirety. Up to this point, I had flashes of Prince of Tennis that would permeate my brain when I would stay up to watch Toonami late on weekends. It's not the best or the most polished sports anime I've seen, but it's certainly one that's very close to my heart and has a very emotional story at its core. Baby Steps is a tennis anime that follows Maruo, a first-year honor student who one day decides he is unhappy with the way things are and lacks exercise. He finds a flyer out for a tennis club and decides to check it out, and he is instantly captivated by it. With no prior experience and poor physical conditioning, he embarks on a tennis journey using his smarts and dedication and his work ethic to excel at the sport. He uses his inherent studious nature to develop an extremely strategic approach to tennis, taking notes on the habits and tendencies of his opponents, allowing him to predict their future shots before they make them. I've literally never encountered someone who has also seen this series, but it's one that is very near to my heart. Prior to the show, I didn't give two quacks about tennis, but I was enamored right away. The series is unique because it really doesn't try to do anything too flashy or out of the realm of believability like many sports animes do. It's a grounded story of a highly organized individual's approach to systematically improving his craft. The main character feels like Deku from My Hero Academia if his special interest was tennis instead of heroes. This show is a bit of a comfort show for me, and I've gone back to it over the years as a reminder to work hard and stay committed to something if you want to see growth. Rising Impact is a newer anime about golf. It follows Gawain, a third grader who meets pro golfer Kiria and becomes enchanted by the sport of golf. Kiria helps him enroll in Camelot Academy, where his innate talent for golf blooms as he competes against gifted rivals from around the world. And catalogs his journey to harness his inherent potential in golf. I would have called you a liar. I've never cared about golf. In fact, over the years, I've been staunchly anti-golf. I felt like it was elitist and is ethically questionable when it comes to environmental effects. That being said, the show has so much fun with its premise and surprisingly gets a lot of mileage out of a sport that I would have described as being simple and boring. This anime did such a good job of teaching me about golf and all of the nuances associated with it, and gave me an appreciation for it. It's certainly more fast and loose when it comes to the more fantastical elements that it uses to get its story across, but it made for a very entertaining product. I even went to play golf for the first time after watching this series, and I gotta say, I ended up having a pretty good time. I do still think that golf is a bad use of land, water, and resources and should be eradicated at once. But that being said, I can't wait for the next season of this anime and to see where Gawaine's adventure takes him next. Yuri on Ice is an anime about figure skating and is one of the more polarizing animes that I will discuss today. After a crushing defeat in the Grand Prix final and other competition losses, 23-year-old Japanese figure skater Yuri develops mixed feelings about skating and puts his career on hold. He returns to his hometown after 5 years abroad. Yuri visits his childhood friend, Yuko, at an ice rink and perfectly mimics an advanced skating routine performed by his idol, Russian figure skating champion Victor. When secretly recorded footage of Yuri's performance is uploaded to the internet, it catches Victor's attention. He travels to him to offer Yuri an opportunity for him to revive his own figure skating career as his coach. This is a series that I did not expect to enjoy. It's about figure skaters, and my only exposure to figure skating before this was from Blades of Glory. This series was so unexpectedly vibrant and beautiful to watch. The figure skating was choreographed by Kenji Miyamoto, who also performed routines himself, which were recorded and used as skating sound effects for the series. This attention to detail really shows in the series' final product. I'm not even so bought into the narrative of the show as much as I am the physical skate routines that we are treated to as a viewer. The music, the animation, and the choreography make for a stunning and unique viewing experience. The series even defines the different stylistic approaches to these performances in a way that made me, a novice viewer, keep up with it. The LGBTQ representation, while not feeling fully committed to, at moments does feel overt, and perhaps was as much as a Japanese production studio could get away with a high budget back in the year 2016. It's a shame that more people never gave the show a chance because of its overt queer themes. But for my money, Yuri on Ice is a great watch and it deserved a much longer run. Kurico No Basket is an anime that you've certainly heard of if you are a big anime fan, especially from the 2000s. It follows the players of a team that was known as the Generation of Miracles. After graduating middle school, the 5-star players went on to different high schools to play for their basketball teams. However, there was a rumor that there was another player in the Generation of Miracles, a phantom 6th man. This mysterious player is now a freshman at Cyrene High School, a new school with a powerful, if little-known, team. Kurico No Basket was the pioneer for sports anime tonally, and visually stepping into what the current meta is in sports anime. Big flashy sequences that rival moments from the more popular shonen like MHA or even JJK. When this show came out, it was on par with the animation of any of the other big hits of the time. It created this trend of taking specific styles of gameplay within their sport, in this case basketball, and finding ways to turn it into an anime power-up sequence. It adds an element of suspension of disbelief that culminates in the perfect blend of sports drama and action shonen. What this show does uniquely well is develop so many different characters and their unique abilities and powers that are used in battles amongst the various teams. This show does its choreography so well, and even more than that, fleshes out team dynamics in an excellent way. Again, this show is the perfect blend of shonen and sports telling blended together, a theme that we'll see a few more times on this list. Blue Lock is the newest anime on this list and is one that I had a lot of fun with over the last couple years. In the world of Blue Lock, the Japanese national team finished 16th in the 2018 FIFA World Cup. The Japanese Football Union hires the football enigma Jinpachi Ego to put his brains to use to increase the quality of our Japanese players. His master plan to lead Japan to stardom within soccer is Blue Lock, a training regimen designed to create the world's greatest egotistic striker. Yoichi Isagi is an unknown high school football player who is conflicted about his playing style. He decides to join the program to become the best striker in the world and acts as our main character. Like I said, Blue Lock is the newest and tonally a very different show amongst the ones on my list. While the other shows value teamwork and fighting together, Blue Lock rejects this concept and focuses on individual strength. They all operate with the mindset of devouring each other, which brings the best possible play out of themselves. The characters insult each other and actively prey on each other's downfall, The result is a very fun, action-packed sports drama that just ramps up over time. The animation has certainly had some poor moments, especially in season 2, but the dialogue and general attitude of the players keeps me leaned in constantly. Not to mention the final episode of season 2 is probably one of the best animation sequences I've seen in any sports anime and leaves the viewer wanting so much more. Overall, this is a series of high highs and low lows, but those high highs are really enough to leave lasting, impactful moments on me. Like I said, this is probably the more, tonally, this is the darkest out of all of these shows, but it's one that has so much fun with its premise. If you are a fan of sports anime at all, you undoubtedly know what Haikyuu is. Haikyuu follows a high school student, Shoyo Hinata, who becomes obsessed with volleyball after catching a glimpse of Karasuno High School playing in the Nationals on TV. Haikyuu is probably the most popular sports anime and has done the most to put the genre on the map. I feel like Haikyuu took the baton from Kurico No Basket and absolutely ran with it. Kurico walked so that Hinata Shoyo could run, and then later on soar. The series has a conflicting duo at the center of their team and works to flesh out the entire team's unique abilities while doing the same for the rival teams. I find Hinata to be so relatable and such a good protagonist for viewers to latch onto. The series is consistently well animated and stunning to look at. Each season has even come with unique approaches to choreographing their matches, with unique camera angles and perspectives to latch into. They even had a theatrical release of the Haikyuu movie that managed to improve on the already top-notch animation. In my opinion, this movie was amazing, and I even have a review of that on my channel right now. It's one of my earlier videos on this channel, so you'll have to scroll a little bit, but I do have a lot to say on that movie in that video. I can't wait for more Haikyuu in whatever form it comes in next. I've heard rumors of movies and another season, and I'm not sure, but I think it's fair to say that Haikyuu is one of the best sports anime that we've ever seen, and certainly the most influential one. The final anime on my list today is called Ping Pong the Animation. Despite having drastically different personalities, high school boys Peko and Smile have been friends since childhood. Now they are both talented members of a table tennis club at Katsasi High School. Peko gets decisively defeated by a Chinese student and thus becomes so devastated that he quits practicing. Meanwhile, Smile's personality always prevents him from winning against Peko. Coach Joe, however, discovers Smile's potential and tries to motivate him to overcome his physical obstacle. Ping Pong is definitely the most unique show on my list and probably the hardest to talk about. The approach that this series takes to telling its story is more emotional and artistic as opposed to the more straightforward approach that most sports animes take. I have rewatched this show so many times, and every time I do, I feel like I'm learning something new. It has a visual aesthetic that uses thin line work that can look unpolished at times, but overall lends itself to communicating more raw emotional impact. The rivalry and friendship between our two main characters rings true to relationships that I've experienced in my own life. The way that the choreography shifts from viewing the match from various points of view is so engaging. Sometimes you are watching the match from a player's perspective, sometimes from a bird's eye view above the entire arena, or even sometimes from the ball's point of view. When you're watching a match in this anime, it feels like you are watching from a camera that is constantly shifting and flying around the court. The series has delivered on many themes and commentary, like depression, passion, and it even dives into the hero motif. There's so much to love in such a short series, and it's one that I won't stop praising over anytime soon. Ping Pong the Animation is my favorite sports anime of all time, and one of my all-time favorite animes in general. I haven't even scratched the surface on what makes the series so great, but to say the least, it's a visually stunning and emotional, impactful ride. Have you watched Ping Pong the Animation? What do you think about it? Maybe you can help me sum up what it is that is so great about it. What do you think about my list overall? Do you like sports anime? Do you like blending anime and shonen together to get like what the sports anime genre has kind of become at this point? Did I miss any on my list? I'm sure there's going to be some snubs. I didn't hit everything, but I wanted to just highlight my personal favorites, the ones that have had the biggest effect on me. But yeah, again, what do you think? What do you think about sports anime in general? What is your favorite sports anime? And if you have any other feedback, questions, or comments for me, I would love to hear it down in the comment section down below. Let's get a conversation going. As always, my name is Darius Cook, and remember, that I love you.